Hey y'all, hey, come on in. Happy Sunday. I'm not gonna be on here long. I know I say that all the time, but it's the full truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Happy Sunday to you all. I hope that you all are enjoying your day so far. You are going to need, hello, hey Miss Dan CEO, you are going to need to get a pen and paper. You need a pen and paper for this live. You cannot listen to this live and not have pen and paper. Okay? You need a pen and paper for this live. I'm going to give you the game. It is up to you. Hey, everybody on IG. It is up to you to take the game that I give you and do something with it. If you choose not to do something with it, then it's on you. But you can, hey, Coach T, you can come in and take what I'm giving you and go and do some pretty amazing things with the information that I'm sharing, okay? And then I'm going to allow you to ask me just a few questions, maybe like 5, okay? So if you do not take advantage of this time, knowing that we're in Q4, you are going to be missing out. And then the second thing is, if you are subscribed to my email list, you are in for a treat this week, because I am going to send you a template that you can use as a follow-up strategy with what I'm going to teach you today. Okay? So, I don't know if you all saw my reel or my story that I posted, but I posted about, hey Camille, I posted about how it's really not that hard for you to go out here and get corporate contracts if you really want to, right? So if you really want to add corporate contracts to your portfolio before 2023 closes, it is really not as hard as you think it is, okay? So here's the problem. Let me walk through the mind-body connection first, right? Here's the problem. When we hear the word corporate, we immediately think that these are only referred to as these large corporations that are in most cases going to be your Fortune 500 corporations, not knowing that you have Fortune 50, Fortune 100, ones that don't even qualify for that yet. You have your local stores, businesses and things like that that are directly here in your community, all of that, right? Those still count as corporate entities, right? Whether they have one store or one entity or operation, or they have multiple, they still count as corporate, right? So it can be as simple and as easy as you going in your neighborhood and going to what I did today. I like to go out and spend time with myself. I love going out to eat by myself or just going out to just chill by myself. It's kind of like dating. So a lot of dating gurus will tell women to go out by themselves to these prestigious places. Hotel lobbies, hotel bars, upscale restaurants, nice lounges, rooftop areas where very prestigious men and wealthy men hang out. Okay? And they'll tell them to go by themselves. The reason they tell them to go by themselves is because there's this thing or this understanding. I don't know how true this is. I'm not a relationship coach or guru, so don't ask me no questions about this. But there's this saying that when women are together in a group and there are men or a man that might be in the vicinity or in the area that is interested in a particular woman in their group, hey, it can seem to be intimidating to the man that would like to approach the homegirl that's in the group, because there is a group. Y'all know how we are about our friends. We don't play about our friends when we be out. We don't want nobody walking up to them. We don't want nobody talking to them. You know, we be real side-eye trying to make sure, like, the guy that's walking up to them is really gonna be worth their time. Like, we already scanning them, looking them up and down, side to side, all that, right? We sizing them up. It's the same thing when you go out by yourself for like business purpose, right? So instead of you going out brunching every weekend and walking out of your restaurant or out of your experience not having collected a dollar or a lead or anything like that, the only thing that you can say is you got drunk off mimosas. Yes, I just stepped on toes. I need you to start changing your perspective about what you do when you go out, when you're alone, or even if you do decide to go out with a group. It's completely up to you, right? But particularly, I would go alone. And here's why. Because it gives you an opportunity to decompress, and it gives you an opportunity to really zone in on what's going on around you. So if you walk into a facility like I did today, I went to a fairly new restaurant here in Memphis for brunch today. And basically when I go in, I just sit, I have my iPad, and my iPad has a keyboard. So I have my iPad and I'm sitting there at the table. I order my food, I order my drinks, but the whole time that I'm sitting there eating, I'm scanning. And what I mean by scanning is I'm scanning the room to see how efficiently the business operates. Okay? This is for what I do in my industry, right? So your perception may be a little bit different. And I'm going to try to do a few examples for different industries as to how this can work for you. I'm going to do like 2 or 3. But for me, this is what I do. I sit at the bar. I sit in the lounges. If it's like, I don't know if you all have been like to Capitol Grill. They have a dining room and they have a lounge part. And depending on how you're dressed, depending on which one they direct you to. So I take my iPad with the keyboard and I look cute. I dress the part. And I look like I'm about my business. And I sit there and I work. And I analyze the room. I pay attention to how the employees are engaging with each other. I pay attention to how the manager, usually you could tell who the manager is, right? I pay attention to how the manager speaks to their employees, how they coach them in real time, in real moments. I pay attention to those things. I pay attention to conversations that employees are having amongst each other. Because, you know, usually if you sit at the bar, the bartenders are very loud. They don't really cut down on their talking, right? They're very loud amongst each other. And they don't really care what they say for the most part. So they're going to say whatever they want, right? And I listen and I observe and I pay attention to those things. And I look for areas of opportunity that I know if I have an offer, or if I have a workshop, or if I have a training, or if I have something that can help solve maybe a problem that I saw while I was sitting there. And I'm not saying like I saw it once. Like I could tell like it's causing an operational disjunction in their operation since I've been sitting there. Usually I stay in these spaces like an hour, maybe an hour and a half. And it doesn't take me long to detect it. So while I'm doing that, I'm determining whether or not there's something that I could possibly offer them to help fix their problem. I'm determining whether or not there is something that I have in my arsenal that I can pull out really quick and say, hey, while I was sitting here enjoying my meal, I noticed that you had a little issue with X, Y, and Z. Or I noticed that this was occurring, you know, this way. And as a consumer, this is what I see when I see stuff like that. It's really easy to paint the picture. And then it might draw concern and say, you know what, I did take notice of that, and you know what, I should do something about it. I am going to have a conversation with the employee, or I am going to, you know, try to come up with a better process as to how we could do this more efficiently. And then that's what, okay, I have your solution. Would you be open to solution? Whatever that solution is in that blank. I provide the service of, this is what I do, and this has been some past things that I've done. If you have enough time to do all of this, you might not have enough time depending on how busy the manager is, right? Or the lead, if it's the manager or the team lead, whoever it is. But this is what I do. These are the type of services that I provide. I think I could help you come to a solution or provide you with a solution to help fix X, Y, and Z problem. That's it. And either the manager or the leader, the team lead that's there, is going to say, yes, I believe we can use that. Or they're going to say, no, I don't think we're interested in that. Or they might say, we already have something that is in our corporate structure that they send down from corporate that can solve that issue. Okay. So regardless of what they say, my question or my response to them is always going to be, well, are you sure there won't be any future opportunities for me to come in here and possibly do some consulting work for you? More than likely, they're not going to say no because they don't know. It may come up, it may not, right? Usually they're going to say, there may be some, possibly. And when they say that, don't let them collect your information. You need to collect their information. If they walk away collecting your information, more than likely they are not going to necessarily reach out to you unless you have had enough time to sit there within that time window and actually talk to them, right? Like you actually had enough time to build like at least 30 seconds, maybe a minute, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes if you've had enough time to really build some rapport with them while you were there to just get a connection going and just get that first introduction out of the way, right? So you want to make sure in any situation that you are getting their contact information because your process from there is going to be for you to follow up. And I hope you all are writing this down. Y'all not saying anything, so I don't know if you all are grasping the concept or not. But your duty when you leave there is for you to follow up. If you do not know how to do a proper follow-up, then you need to be asking questions while we're here on this live. Okay? There's no excuses when you leave this live not to be able to secure at least one corporate contract here in Q4 for your business. Okay? Your follow-up process should be something as simple as a follow-up email that states basically what you saw that day, what it is that you do, and would they be open to any opportunities for your service that you offer, your expertise that you offer, to come in there and help improve whatever it's supposed to improve. And that's it. And either they will respond or they might not respond. Either one is okay. You didn't die. Okay? You did not die. If they do not respond, you can do additional follow-ups, which sometimes because things are so busy, it may take additional following up. Usually what happens is with us is we're looking for people to immediately give us the yes. You cannot walk in these corporate spaces or be in business looking for people to immediately give you a yes. Should I expect that everybody has money to spend with me? Absolutely. But I am not expecting to always get yes. Because part of the game is going for no. If you don't go for no enough, you won't get a yes. Right? You have to create enough opportunity for you to be able to get a yes. A lot of you all don't create enough opportunity to get a yes. You ask one person and the person says no and you're like, well, I give up. You didn't create enough opportunity for you to get a yes. Okay? Coach T, what are you saying? Let's see. Makes sense to take advantage of your local market. Great idea to pitch while in an establishment. Yes, this is good. Writing this down for cleaning services. Absolutely. So, hey, Jasmine. So, what you need to understand is this why this will work so well with locally or smaller owned entities or franchises or businesses that are in your city. Because once you go higher up, when it comes to corporate contracts, you have to go through more approvals. I don't know if you all know how approvals work in corporations, but the larger the corporation, the more approvals they got to get slid across the desk to be signed off on or electronically signed off on for you to be able to get your yes. Okay? So even if you go to somebody here locally that looks like their operation is running fairly well, I'm glad it's helpful, good. Looks like their operation is running fairly well. You've been there multiple times. You seem like you're probably a committed consumer. You enjoy what it is, but you see some areas of opportunity. In business, you should be looking for areas of opportunity all the time. Okay? Whether it's with you or whether it's when you walk into an establishment, a store, any of that. I can tell you right now that the perception that I have when I walk into an establishment, I'm looking for everything as far as operations, because I'm an operations person. So I'm looking for everything as far as operations and processes. That's when I walk into a store or when I walk into a restaurant or something or establishment, that's the first thing that my brain is going to. I'm like, oh, this is not running efficiently. I just came from Target in Germantown. I don't know what's going on at the Target in Germantown, but either they have laid off a lot of people or a lot of people have quit, because when I say that store is toe up and they need somebody to come in there and get them together, they have too much freight on the floor, which means their truck process is broken down. Something's not going on right. They're unloading the truck too slow, or either they don't have enough staff to fulfill. They're finna get ready to go into the holiday season. They probably got more freight in their back warehouse than they can deal with. And they ain't got enough people on the floor. It looks like a madhouse in there. The clothes out and unfolded all over the place. It looks terrible in there. And it's so crazy, so funny, because I'm in the little Germantown group on Facebook. And y'all know how people, the people be. I walked in Germantown and in Target, and I didn't enjoy my experience the way that I normally enjoy it. It's freight everywhere and it's clothes everywhere, and I just didn't get a chance to enjoy my experience. I didn't get to sit in my Starbucks and walk around with my basket and just enjoy my Target experience, because there was so many boxes. This is literally what the lady was talking about in the Facebook group. She was like, I talked to the manager, and the manager just seemed so nonchalant. Uh-oh, that means we got a problem. Because you telling me you going to be in Germantown, Target, and you going to be nonchalant about the way your store look? Oh, we got a problem. We got a problem. Coach T, what are the average contract size for smaller companies versus larger? That's kind of a little bit of a loaded question, because it's really going to more so depend on what services you're offering and what the outcome is that you're looking to get out of it. So a corporate contract doesn't have a minimum amount or a maximum amount, right? It's really going to depend on more of the transformation or the solution that you're providing and the problems that you are solving, and how that is properly packaged up and translated or communicated to them to solve their problem. I hope that makes sense. Let me know. But yeah, this is a huge problem, because in Germantown, Tennessee, y'all think them rich people finna come in there and you just think this would be okay. Sir, I don't know if your head, I don't know if you know if your head is on the chopping block or not. But if they call corporate enough, you might lose your job. Okay? I should have took pictures just so I could post it as a post on Facebook, but I ain't trying to be out for nobody's job or nothing like that. But I'm pretty sure they're not recall corporate, because they've been in the little Facebook group going off about it for like 2 months now. At least 2 months. And the last 3 times I've been in there, it looks terrible. And you could tell the team members are very stressed. You could tell that they're understaffed. You could tell that they don't have managerial support. You can tell that their operations have broken down because they have so much freight all over the place. You can tell that they really are having some sort of a breakdown. Something happened. They don't have enough staff. It's crazy in there right now, right? So, me as a corporate consultant and organizational development consultant, that is an opportunity for me. I was so itching to get up out of there, though, because it was so terrible. I didn't even try. And like I said, everybody in there look like they stressed, except for the people that work at Starbucks. The rest of the people that had on red shirts, the Target people, they look like they stressed out, right? Even the who I think was either the team lead or the manager that's usually up there, he be looking like he's stressed out. The last 3 or 4 times I've been in there, he's looked like he's been completely stressed out. So I'm like, I might try to check in another day, right? Or maybe I could call corporate and be like, hey, I got a solution for you all, right? Don't underestimate the power of avenues of opportunity that you have to exercise your talent, to exercise your expertise, or any of that. Because like I said, Target is a Fortune 500 company, right? So the approval process is a little bit more difficult, or it might not seem as easy as it would for a smaller company, but it doesn't mean that you can't shoot for it. It doesn't mean that you can't have the conversation with the local manager and see what it is. Because my old coach, she actually used to be an executive consultant for Target. And they have their own executive team that goes to, different stores and handles operations and stuff like that. So they have that built into their business model. So they may not necessarily outsource their consulting. They have built a consulting executive team within their business model, right? So that may not necessarily be a good opportunity for me. It may be still some opportunity for me to do a little bit of local work, but it would depend on what that would be, right? So it would kind of have to be something along the lines of like where the boundaries are being met, right? And me not stepping over the boundary, if so, right? But as an example, so here's one example. There's a young lady on my timeline on Facebook that sells honey. She's a beekeeper. She sells honey. I can't even remember her name. The T-Bar 901 is what I want to say. I can't remember. She be at the farmers markets all the time. I have never spoken to this young lady in my life, but I love what I see her doing because it's very unique, right? Just think about if she, as a local bee breeder, I don't really know what you call the people, as a local bee breeder, local honey provider, was to go around to each of the coffee shops, not necessarily the Starbucks, but maybe the Ramblin' Joe's, right? Maybe the smaller, what's the black-owned coffee shop? I think it's like in Whitehaven. Like maybe some of those smaller ones, and say, hey, I'm a local beehiver. I don't really know what to say, but like I'm a local honey provider, right? I have my own beehive. I breed, bees. They produce this all natural honey. It has no preservatives, none of that in it. How can I be of service to provide honey to your cafe or to your coffee shop? Because y'all know where they getting the honey from, right? They getting it from probably off the Cisco truck because it's mass amounts of ordering, right? And for the most part, most restaurants and stuff like that, they have an account with Cisco, right? You're welcome. They have an account with Cisco. They're not really thinking that there's somebody locally in their hometown, unless they're from an agricultural background city, like out west. We're talking like Montana, Idaho, Kansas, stuff like that. They're not thinking, I know here in the city of Memphis, they're not thinking that there's somebody here that literally breeds bees. Okay, you have an amazing day. That literally breeds bees and provides honey and can supply local coffee shops, tea bars, whatever it is. Everybody here that sells honey. I'm not talking about like Starbucks though. I'm talking about the smaller end people. She can walk in, and if she has enough hives that produce enough honey on a regular basis, she could be churning out massive orders for them weekly and make tons of money. Tons. It's something that could be so easy for her, right? And not to mention what are the benefits of that? It's all natural, has no preservatives, right? Not no preservatives, but it has like no extra added anything in it, right? Especially like, hey Fred, especially like, you get the little honey packets or whatever when you go out. We know that's been packaged up in the factory, right? There's no telling what else is in it. It says honey, it probably says something else on the back of it as well too. But, so we're going to say, like, it's all natural fresh honey. Not to mention, it'll cut down on shipping and production time that it takes for them to be able to turn around and get an order to be supplied on a weekly basis, right? It's right here, it's local, right? She can literally meet their demand if she has enough hives. If she has enough hives that are producing honey to be able to do that. She can help close the middleman, most of the middleman processes that go in between that, and just have a direct line to them to be able to provide for them. And I just think that's so awesome. That's a clear opportunity for her to be able to do that, right? So she could do that with the coffee shops. She could do that with when we have conferences and stuff come to town, and maybe they need honey and stuff like that. They need coffee, they need tea, so they probably gonna need some honey. Most conference centers don't have honey. Whenever you go to a conference, most of the time they don't have honey. They have sugar. They have regular sugar. They don't have any alternatives. They don't have, honey, which is an alternative, a sweetener alternative. They don't have agave, which is a sweetener alternative. But they're gonna have your basic white pack sugar, yellow pack sugar, pink pack sugar. They might not work for everybody. Why not give them another option? So it could be another opportunity for her to be able to say like, hey, let me provide honey. Let me provide fresh honey for your conference, because people are gonna be drinking coffee and tea all day. You're gonna need it. Like, it's small stuff like that we don't pay attention to, right? And I don't know if she has those types of contracts or whatever already, but I just think it's so dope because what she does is so unique and it's so needed right here locally. And I don't know how she's exercising that strategy right here locally, right? She has other partnerships and stuff like that that she could develop to be able to do more mass quantities instead of like single offs. But she definitely can do it if she decides she wants to do it, and if she has enough hives producing enough honey, right? So that's number one. That's one example, right? I basically gave you all my example. What's another example? Oh, Camille, I don't know if you're still watching. So you said you wanted to take notes for the cleaning company. I can't tell you how many cold outreach emails I get from cleaning companies asking can they come in and do a quote. I can't tell you how many cold outreach emails I get. I get tons of them every day. Because the virtual office location that I have for my business address, not that it's, not a real location, but it's a virtual office location. It is a real location. They can go to the building, but I'm not the owner of the building, so I don't care about them coming in and cleaning the building. Well, I do, but I don't, right? Because I'm not there. So they send me cold emails about doing quotes and the type of services that they can do and how they can beat other people's price and stuff like that all the time. It's the same thing. You can go into these establishments and do the same exact thing. Hey, we're a local cleaning company. We're looking to expand our portfolio. We're wondering if you have anybody that comes in and cleans your establishment on a regular basis. This is what we can do. We get all the way down to the cracks in the baseboard. Whatever your thing is for what it is that you do. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be hard. Can you get some of the larger corporate contracts? Absolutely, but don't negate the fact that you could just walk into an establishment and notice that it could be a little bit more cleaner, or you could help it be a little bit more, presentable, and not present that opportunity to the manager or to the staff or to the leader or whoever is there. Because sometimes that's all it takes, literally. So even with corporate contracts, there are like layers when you think of corporate contracts. So most of the time, like I said, let me go back to my first thought. When we think of corporate contracts, we think of only large entities. We don't think of small entities. If they have a storefront, just consider it a corporate contract. Like if it's some sort of well-known establishment that has a large following or a storefront or is a large organization, don't negate that as well too. Like, reach out to organizations. They need your services too. Reach out to organizations, and it's easy for you to find this information because it's public information. If you go to the organization's website, more than likely there's going to be contact information on there for you to reach out to whoever you need to reach out to. If you get the Memphis Business Journal, if you get information from the Better Business Bureau, they send out who signed up to be a new business or whatever, like I think once a month or every week. Like, this public information. You can literally buy the database from the Secretary of State to see who signed up to have their business or renewed their business license. Or what? I think they do it. You can do it as often as you want to. But I think they upload they refresh the database, I think, at the end of each day. But you have access to all of this information. So if you're driving by and you see these buildings and these corporations and you're just like, hey, I wonder if so-and-so got somebody to come in and do, just research them. Like, it doesn't have to be hard. It's hard because it's stuff that we don't like doing. Researching, reading, reaching out or pitching to somebody, inquiring about service because we think that we're selling, which you are selling. I don't know why you should be scared of that. You shouldn't be. You have not in this season. Hey, Keisha, you have not because you asked not in this season. Literally, you have not because you asked not, because you don't want to sell, because you don't want to tell people what you do, because you don't know the solution that you provide, or you don't understand it enough. You don't understand how it can work for that sector. And if you're somebody that needs to try to understand how it can work for that sector, then you need to be trying to get with somebody like me who can help you understand, well, this is how this can work for that sector. This should be your follow-up process if you just want to start going and doing this on your own, right? And curate that follow-up process and push it. And push it. You should have at least one corporate contract before Q4 is over. Literally. Right? So, the other thing that I want to add too is you can have your follow-up email template that you send to people, but you also should have some sort of brochure or something that outlines what it is that you do, that you can attach to their email and just go ahead and give it to them and provide them that visual as to like what it is that you do. Because it's one thing for you to type it up, but it's another thing for you to give them a visual, give them a brochure, give them something to look at to say like, hey, I can attach what she typed up to a visual, right? And that gives them more than what they would be looking for ideally, because they're not expecting you to come with all of that well put together as it is anyway, right? So what questions do you all have that are still watching? What questions do you all have? So I did the example for the young lady with the honey. I did the example for the cleaning company. Do I need to do another example? What questions do you have? Do you need to hear another example? Keisha, I've been cold calling and researching different organizations I can offer my services to. You'd really be surprised who needs your services. Absolutely. Because most of the brick and mortar people, they don't have people that are actually designated to look for people to say like, hey, we really need this service. No, they have them more focused on coming in and doing their daily tasks. They don't really have people that are like just sitting aside doing it for them every day. They need you to call them and say, hey, well, they need you to shoot the email and say, hey, I noticed that y'all such. This is a service that I provide. I would love to be a resource for you, be able to develop a partnership with you, whatever it is, however you need to word it, right? For whatever your goal is and whatever service or offer or product that you're providing. It don't have to be hard. They're looking for you to call them because they're a business. They expect other people to call them about businesses and services. Small business owners are the only people that get all in they tied up, all in their feelings about people pitching their services to them. And I don't understand that. Small business owners are the only people that think like that. These establishments get phone calls all day long. Hey, Nikki. They get phone calls and outreach, emails all day long about people pitching services and stuff like that to them. Small business owners are the only ones that we get so uptight about somebody trying to sell us something or pitch something to us. And we don't even really be knowing why we be getting uptight. But then the fact that you get uptight about it is also making you shrink back from asking for the sale for yourself. That's the mind-body connection with that. And for you people who think that word of mouth is supposed to be the only way that you're supposed to make some money, I need y'all to wake up. Word of mouth is great. However, if you're putting the control of your business into people that are simply doing word of mouth for you, and that's not all the time, it's only when they come and get a service done, and they leave from you, and they tell people about it, or they post about it, your business is going to fail. It's going to fail. I'm just letting you know now. A lot of y'all get too comfortable with word of mouth. And while word of mouth is one way to bring in some income, it is definitely not the way that you should be relying on running your business. Because you can have word of mouth one week and then the next week be crickets. And you be wondering why you don't have no bookings. Or why you haven't made no sales. I ain't throwing no shade. You a client now. I ain't got to throw shade. I not read this conversation with you, Fred. We working on you, though. It's cool. Right? What questions do you have? This is your opportunity to ask questions. Don't be on here on this live and do not ask questions. This is your opportunity. What questions do you have about getting your first corporate contract from a local business, organization, any of that in your local area, in your city? What questions do you have? Ask your questions. Ask your questions. I hope you all took really good notes. And like I said at the beginning, if you are on my email list, I'm actually going to send out a free template, a free follow-up template for you this week. So you can use it as a follow-up in your efforts to get your first contract. So make sure you are subscribed to my email list or you will not get it. Hello and good morning. What questions do you have about going out here and getting your first corporate contract? Y'all don't have anything? Do I need to do another example? Do I need to do another example? Keisha's on here. She been killing it. Keisha is a hairstylist, and baby, she been getting these senior homes wrapped up. They've been booking her. And MSCS finna have her wrapped up too. I'm so proud of her. Doing more health fairs is a good thing to know. Absolutely. So you don't always have to go to your people, right? Sometimes you can make your people come to you. It is okay for you to use other people's platforms for you to be able to generate your income. What I mean is you can go to events, conferences, any of that makes sense. Don't go to these events and these conferences leaving out not having closed at least 1 to 2 sales. Or don't go to these random events and conferences and brunch. Like, no, these women empowerment events. That's why I be so sketchy about going to women's empowerment events, because we get wrapped up in the empowerment and we don't get wrapped up in the business. And I'm not saying that to throw shade. I'm saying that for real. We get distracted by the brunch and the mimosas and all the other things, and we do not be there to do business. So, me, in my personal opinion, I'm not going. It'll have to be something that's there that I really, really want for me to go to an event like that. Most of the events or conferences that I'm going to go to now are very, very industry specific. Because why? People are going to be there that need my services. And what better to go to a place that has, I don't know, 500, 1,000, 2,000, maybe plus more people, and have them all there and just direct the traffic to me. So yes, you should do more health fairs. You should definitely do more health fairs, Fred, because why? You're a doctor. You're a doctor. You are a doctor of chiropractic. That could give you more traffic than what you think. Because you're not there, you're not necessarily there for the consumer. In your case, you would be there for the other businesses that are there. You could be there for the consumer too, because you could do adjustments on spot since you're a mobile chiropractor. But I would go with the thought process that there are other businesses that are going to be there that could probably use my my services, my classes, my workshops, whatever is there. I should be connecting with them. And most of the time, you should be able to find a vendors list of people that are going to be there. You're welcome. Of people that are going to be there, so you can have that already painted out as to what your approach is going to be, right? You should have, they more than likely should have, for bigger conferences, they usually list out like the vendors and stuff that are going to be there. So you can already know, okay, I know I have services that can help them. Or I know I have workshops and teachings that can help them. I know I have, products that can help them. When I used to do paparazzi, I can't drive this enough. When I used to do paparazzi, I would only do very specific events. I didn't do everybody's pop-up shop. I wasn't going to do everybody's pop-up shop. Because why? I'm not going for visibility. I don't care about going for visibility. Some of you all have gotten so much visibility. You so frustrated because you've gotten so much because your visibility ain't matching up with your sales. Right? Yes, ma'am. I have a vendor and networking strategy. I literally do. And I teach it to all of my clients. If that's going to be a part of their business model, I teach that to them. It's the same strategy I use for paparazzi. Right? I didn't do everybody's pop-up shop. The conferences and the vendor events that I did, I researched heavily for. So I stopped being in the Facebook groups, looking at people who were posting in there saying that they were doing a pop-up shop and trying to be the first to comment on there. I stopped doing it because it was more of a crab in a barrel type of thing. And it got to be so many of us that commented on there that you could tell like it just really wasn't any true direction for like the event. So I got to the point to where I decided I didn't want to do that. And I started researching my conferences and the events that I wanted to go to differently. Because I didn't want to just go just to get visibility. I wanted to go to make money. And I also wanted to go to make genuine connections, to build relationships, to go ahead and book me 3 or 4 different additional opportunities off that one event. That's what I went for. So most of the time I'm going to ask people, well, have you done this event before? If they haven't, it's not saying that, it's not a great fit, but ask them in more detail. What is the end result of this event? Why are you doing this event? What type of people does this event attract? How large is your audience as you're advertising your vendors? Do you expect the vendors to also advertise this event, which they should, because both of you all should be advertising, right? Ask the right questions. So yes, conferences, and sometimes you will have to pay for proximity, right? So yesterday I just joined Obly, right? And I joined Obly for more than one reason. Not even necessarily because of the products. It's because I want to be in proximity of Courtney and get the opportunity to be in proximity of her. Why? Because she is somebody who's in the beauty industry who has taken the beauty industry over by storm. I just need to be in proximity of her to be able to ask her questions, to be up under her mentorship, to be able to access her. And plus, like, the lifestyle products, they really make sense. Hey, Reed, they really make sense for who I am anyway. I don't necessarily have to use them all the time, but some of the stuff that they have, I absolutely do love. I really, really do. But that's not the only reason. I didn't just join. My point is, I didn't just join for the products. I want you all to understand that. I joined because there's a power move. When I get into my health, wellness, and beauty brand, there's going to be a power move for me. I joined because the people that are around her. Some of the people that are around her are also in the beauty, health, and wellness industry, which means I may possibly get in proximity of them as well too. That's why I joined. Am I going to work the business? Yes. But that is why I joined. That's the main reason why I joined. I have adored Courtney Adiele since the first line of The Main Choice. Plus, I love her style. I love her character. She's just a really beautiful person to me. She's one of my favorite mogul muses in the beauty industry. Right? And I know the people that she hang with, there's like 1 or 2 others that I really desire to have mentorship or meet as well, that they're always in proximity of her. So it just makes sense. It's a business move that makes sense. So when she does her annual conference, when she does her boss conference, when she does her Obly conference, when she does those conferences, I'm there networking. I'm going to build the business too, but I'm also there networking, not only for health, wellness, and beauty, but I can also network for my coaching business, my organizational development consulting. Because why? There are other business owners in the room that need the direction. It's a power move, right? You have to know these things. I'm going to the Bonner Brothers Hair Show in February. I've already put a bug in one person's ear about having a corporate contract with them. And he's excited about it. I'm going to the Bonner Brothers Hair Show for proximity. I'm paying for proximity because it's proximity that makes sense. Because who gonna be there? Every Atlanta superstar that you could possibly think of. What Atlanta superstar can you think of that wouldn't necessarily be able to need my services, whether it's on the health, wellness, the beauty side, or whether it's on the business coaching and consulting side? What projects can I do for you? I think he said T.I. is supposed to be there. It's a whole long list of people be there. Okay. I have my iPad ready with my HoneyBook software ready for them to sign a proposal and go ahead and make their first return of payment. I'll be ready. You pay for proximity. You pay for proximity that makes sense. When you go to these conferences, you are paying for proximity. Make sure you pay for proximity that makes sense. Don't go just to be, oh, I just want to be amongst the people and take the pictures and have my lifestyle pictures. No. This you're going for the wrong reason, friend. Wrong reason. Wrong one. It's great, but I need you to think a little bit differently. Am I saying that everybody you talk to while you're gone on these trips has to be a business venture? No, that is not what I'm saying. You will be able to tell by the interaction and the conversation that you're having with people whether or not it will be or it won't, or whether or not you should shoot your shot or you shouldn't, or whether or not you just should just talk in general about what you do and just give them space to inquire if they want to inquire. That's all I'm doing. Hey, this is a little bit more about me and what I do because you're new, so we're getting to know each other, right? This is the introduction. Pay for the right proximity. It only takes one person. It only takes one opportunity. It only takes one chance. Pay for proximity. But just make sure it's the right proximity. So no, I'm not paying to be a part of your vendor event or your pop-up shop talking about no visibility. No. If you ain't got no real proximity and you can't show me no real benefits, no, I'm not paying for that. Not doing it. They got to have some strategy behind it. So these women, these national organizations for women, these industry-specific organizations that, you know, for the beauty industry, for the health, wellness industry, they literally have national organizations probably for any industry that you can think of. Membership organizations that you should be a part of. They give you an opportunity to be a presenter, which what happens after that? If you get an opportunity to have a keynote or be a presenter or teach a workshop, that gives you people. It's bringing a whole bunch of people together at one time for them to hear what you got to say and ideally for you to be able to walk away with hopefully 2 or 3 more opportunities from that one opportunity that you have. Those are the types of proximity I want to pay for. That's what I'm interested in. I need you all to learn how to use that to your advantage, right? If you're going to have professional memberships, which I suggest, you need to surround yourself with people, other people who are in your industry that are doing very well, right? You need to surround yourself with people who are in your industry that know skills that you don't so you can learn from them and still be able to advance in your industry, right? The moment that you get in your industry and you think that you know everything, you better be prepared to be stuck. These are the types of corporate opportunities that you can walk right into just simply because you built a relationship or you paid for proximity and you strategize correctly to be able to get you in the room, right? So sometimes it doesn't necessarily always have to be, oh, we got to go through the vice president, it got to go through the COO, we got to go through the president, it got to go through the CEO, it got to go through all these people. It don't always necessarily have to be that, right? So hopefully you all got what it was that I was putting down in this live. If you joined a little late, you might want to watch from the beginning. But hopefully you have a page full of notes and you should be ready to execute, to go do what it is that you need to do. Get out here in your local community. Go out here and speak to the managers. Go out here and speak to the team leaders. If you see areas of opportunity that you can offer your product and your service, have a very good follow-up strategy. Prepare you a brochure. Go in Canva and make you a brochure or make you a proposal. It don't have to be hard, you all. Go on Canva and make it. Do an outline of the type of workshops, whatever it is that you do. Go on Canva and make it. Don't say, oh my God, I can't do it. Okay, well, whatever. Go in there and make it. It don't have to be super extravagant, you all. Canva has a print shop. If you want to print it off, send it to Canva and let them print it off and deliver it straight to your door. Like, don't make this hard, you all. Please don't make this hard. I want you all to get in the habit of understanding that this does not have to be hard. Does not have to be hard. It's hard because we make it hard. It's hard because we don't ask. It's hard because we don't take free information like this and take action. So hopefully you all got what I was putting down here in this video. I hope and pray that you are able to get at least one corporate contract this year before the year is out, right? So in Q4, shoot for at least one. Go in here and talk to these people, right? And let them know what it is you do, how you can help solve their problem, if they're a great fit for what it is that you offer. All right? And remember, if you are on my email list, you will get a treat later on this week. You'll get a follow-up template later on this week. Closed mouth don't get fed. Yes, sir. Very good, Fred. So, I'll see you all later this week, maybe. And, yeah, let's kick it off. Let's have a great Q4. Let's get a great start to the week. Great start to the new month. Happy October 1. And let's get out here and get it. If you have questions, you can slide in my DM, even though I told you to ask them on this live. But you can slide in my DM. All right. I will see you all later.